The noise that you hear in the background is a fish tank. A very loud fish tank. I'm going to try and keep my voice down just a little bit because somebody is sleeping and I don't want to wake the little guy up. Um, it is Wednesday. It is halfway through the week. I think it's what people call hump day. Don't necessarily like that name, but whatever. If you come in, know that this is usually a nature-orientated channel, but during these little chats during the day, we are just open, or I am open to anything as long as it's sort of PG. That's what they call it anyway. Keep it polite, like I said, or be kicked. But otherwise, let's talk. So, outside of YouTube, I do a lot of writing. And it seems like one of the things I always come back to whenever I'm writing are vampires. And I don't know why, but I always do. So lately, I've really been thinking about adding something different to it. And maybe trying a werewolf. My only issue with doing a werewolf instead of a vampire is that vampires are pretty much vampires. Like, yeah. With a werewolf, you have the wolf and then you have the human. And they're almost like two different personalities. And that makes it hard for me to write. I don't know why, but it does. Carol, are you having issues being in? It keeps going from 0 to 1. I'm just wondering. Hi, Vamsy. Rose. Hola. I don't, no habla, or mi habla español es muy poquito. Hi, Vamsy. So, do you guys write? I am from the Midwest, about 45 minutes away from Chicago, or give or take. Very cool. Hello, you did I Bahat? Hello. I am not an immigrant. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win. And I really don't talk politics because it causes fights. Arian sir, hello. I don't. Um, but writing for me, skydiving or scuba diving. For me, that is a really hard sell. I wish I was smart like Einstein. Um, I don't swim, and I'm afraid of heights. I have not visited India. Not yet, anyway. Not sure the name of it. My take on immigrants is this. Maybe unpopular. I don't know. If you're coming into the country legally, I don't have a problem with you. If you're coming in illegally, then that's where it gets a little bit weird, because one, you're breaking the law by coming in illegally, but on the other hand, you could be running from something, whatever that is. I don't know. Um, but coming in illegally, I guess you're taking your chances. I have not visited India, but I would like to visit. I think it's the Ghats or the Gir Forest. I'm a bit of a nature enthusiast, so those things really excite me. I'm sorry, Stephen, but skydiving and scuba diving just not my thing. Krishna, why did you retract your message? You didn't have to. I have my family, or at least part of my family, came into the country before it was a country. They were seeking religious freedom. And then my mom's family immigrated sometime around the 1800s. Not a serial killer. Without a picture, it's really hard to do. I also don't know where you're from, so that makes it hard. I would need a chance to search it up. It's not something I can just do off of the top of my head. I'm sorry, but there are some beautiful skinks. I agree. Hmm. I don't know. Sorry, guys, are you still there? My favorite sighting in my backyard. Animal sighting? When I saw a bobwhite, which is a type of native quail, in my backyard. That was really cool. Wildlife in the yard is so amazing. I love when nature visits. It's beautiful. And this time of year, it just increases the chances of having a really cool visit. Yeah, my yard is not that big, and they cleared out a vacant lot next to the house, and once they did that, we don't get the wildlife like we used to. Sorry, my brother's dogs are going nuts. 2 weeks ago we had um a fawn and its mom in the next door feeding in their backyard, so that was pretty cool. It's okay. We have or had a bunch of people in. I don't drive, so it's kind of hard to visit. So I will be staying in my little area for right now. When I get a chance, yeah. I would love to do it more often than I do, to be honest. But my favorite place to go hiking is at the local national park, um, at the state park that's fairly close by, and then the we have a county park not too far away, and it is loaded with plants. Things like uh, spice bush, Canadian moonseed, uh, bladder nuts, bunch of hickories, jack in the pulpit. It's Deep River County Park. It's off of County Line Road in Holbert. It is nice. Mm-hmm. I live just far enough away that it makes it a little bit inconvenient, but it's still a great place to get out and hike when the mosquitoes aren't bad. Oh. Yes, I'm laying down. Don't judge me. I will be going live. Sorry, my glasses. Yeah, I can understand that. I don't like going to the county fairgrounds. There's just too many people. I have done that. I have gone during the off season. Not a serial killer. What type of things have you spotted in your yard or on your property? You talked about it a little bit. Uh, Somebody spotted me sitting here, and I think he wants in, but he's not coming in because he'd step all over me and start licking me, and that's not happening. One of these, one of these days, I need to do a live where my brother's dogs, or at least one of the dogs, can be in it. We have mink in my area, but it tends to be along the rivers. I've never seen them, but we have red fox. I've never seen gray fox. And every once in a while, barred owls are the ones that go, who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? If I remember right. Yeah, the gray foxes do climb trees. It's pretty crazy. Um, we used to have, I'm guessing they come through during migration, and every once in a while, you could hear them calling. Um, like, I've never seen them, but I've heard the barred owls. But it has been, like, seriously years since that has happened. The only time I have seen black squirrels um, was at our area's Six Flags. We That is one thing I don't think I've seen this year. So I've heard, lucky her. But we don't. I we get a lot of plants that have been deposited by birds, and a couple years ago, we had Eastern Columbine pop up in the yard. And I was thinking, oh, this is going to be great. They're going to draw in the hummingbirds. And since I've had it, I don't think I've seen hummingbirds feeding on them. And I thought they would. So now I'm thinking I need to get cardinal flower and plant in the yard. Oh, and I've seen wild turkey in the neighborhood. I'm waiting for my bobcat and my live badger. Yeah, it's probably honey or trumpet vine. There's a road that sort of winds through a section of the national park, and every once in a while me and a nephew will drive through there, and you'll see the flocks with their babies. That is cool. Fisher, that would be cool to see. Really? Are they bigger than a mink? They must be, huh? It is a fisher is in the weasel family. Um I think they're um more northern animal. They feed on things like, well, for one thing, um fishers have bigger than a coyote? No. Maybe that that doesn't seem right. I don't know though. I can sort of see that. I know they go after porcupine. I have seen badger here, but always as roadkill. I've never seen a live one. Actually, I've seen two badgers, but both were roadkill. And I've seen lots of foxes. I've never seen an adult bobcat. I have smelled skunk, and I've seen lots of roadkill. When I was up in Ontario camping, the road into the camp was roadkill porcupine. It was kind of odd. You may be out of their range. Not a serial killer. I don't know. They are. Now, one thing we did have, I haven't seen them this year, but the pine squirrel, a little bit smaller than the eastern grays, but man, they're pretty. Yeah, um, we never had them in our area, and then in the last several years, they've been around. Yeah, I think some populations fluctuate a little bit, so that some years you get them and sometimes you don't. Because the last time I remember seeing flying squirrel, we still had, what was the cat's name? Shadow, I think. It's just really been an odd year this year. Um, Agreed. Are you talking, when you say giant, are you talking the, oh shoot. Why can't I think of the name? As of late, I'm talking about woodpeckers. I think I see one now. Um, yeah, pileated. Pileateds are cool. We have them like in our section of the state. I probably have seen the holes, but I've never seen a live one. It has been this morning. It was 60 degrees outside. No, and I really haven't heard a lot of woodpeckers this year. Hey, predecessor, you can chat. Yeah, there's quite a few species, even more depending upon if you're east or west, but what are you cooking? I know I'm hungry. I sort of ate when my nephew ate, but I was hungry. I shouldn't talk like that. That's bad. I see white and then I see red. I don't know if I'm seeing a red-headed woodpecker or what I'm seeing. Or if it just happens to be a piece of dead tree. I don't know. Okay, you had me up until you said Brussels sprouts. I'm good with cabbage and its relatives as long as they're not cooked. The minute you cook them, nope. Last night I had this casserole that my mom makes. I know Carol was like, "Nah," but it's Brussels sprouts. No, not Brussels sprouts. It has cheddar cheese, um, lima beans, egg noodles, spam, and cream of chicken soup, and it's really, really good. But I get it. Not everybody likes lima beans. Yeah, mom makes that too. Yeah, cabbage has a off smell. Anything in the cabbage family seems to have that smell. I guess in Hawaii it is a delicacy. It's amazing we went from food to we went from food to so I want to get a YouTuber or an Instagrammer to do a question and answer thing for me that I can post. I just haven't made my mind up. Oh, um, BG, I have a friend who sent me a cartoon and it has the Gillman, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and he's in the grocery store and he's going through the cereal aisle and he's looking at all the different monsters that have cereal, but he doesn't have it. And he looks really sad, but it was so funny. Yeah, when we were kids, it seemed like they were there year round, and now it's just at Halloween time. Or am I imagining things? Hey, Pixel. Yeah, a lot of stuff is a lot of food is flown into Hawaii. Alaska can be expensive too. No, Pixel. Because if I kick you, you won't be able to come back in. I wouldn't mind living in Hawaii. Because imagine the videos I could do in Hawaii. I wish I lived like out in the country. Where I had more access to wildlife. It's only a month away. Even better reason to go to Hawaii. Big bugs. I don't. I do have one tradition though. I always watch Dracula, Bela Lugosi's Dracula, on Halloween. Or one of those Universal Monster movies. Yes, Nosferatu is amazing. The old Nosferatu. That's true, and I do that. But there's something about watching those movies during Halloween. I really do enjoy vampires. You know, I was really excited when I heard about the last voyage of the Demeter. And then I'm like, I saw Dracula, and I'm like, yeah, no. He was more monster than he was anything else. What did I say that sounded like a vampire? I do. I'm actually writing about a vampire. He is a Revolutionary War soldier from New York State. Oh, I can't watch that series. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Be careful, Carol. Twilight? Twilight? Are serial killer, are you being serious right now? Whew. I was gonna say, because those vampires were so watered down that I'm like, eh? It's just, I don't know how much I can advertise on YouTube. No, no sparkly vampires. And I'm okay with the idea of daywalkers, because theoretically the offspring of a vampire, which is a thing, um, could potentially be a daywalker. I mean, my vamp is sort of watered down too, but he's still a vampire. No day walking. He does have a little bit of a heart. They're vampires. Okay, predecessor. Um, Usually they, in the past, my vampires have been, well, it depends. One of them worked for Romania or Hungary, and that was how they sort of kept the estate from being destroyed, or to keep from being killed. He would get an assignment and then go out, and basically he was the state's, if they had a criminal that they wanted taken care of quietly, he's the one that did it. They generally aren't, they're monsters in the sense that they are undead, but in almost every case there's a little bit of, oh, what constitutes a vampire? Either being, they are turned in some manner. Some of my vampires have been uh, created. That's a bad word. That's a bad way to put it. But they were um, sired through the dark arts, and then when they died, when they went through mortal death, they are reborn as vampires. Um, and so a couple of them have been that. The latest one was sired, and I don't need that, like, no activity to sire him, but his, the person that, or the creature that turned him, was a female. Paranormal, just like Dracula. They're like Dracula. Yeah, I think so. I think it. The one thing I don't like is Hollywood could have so much more fun if they would step away from the norm. Like, I did a little bit of research in my 20s, and vampires are not limited to what they can transform into. They're not necessarily limited to bats and fog and wolf. They usually are super, super evil. Mine tend to be somewhere on the edge. I don't like the idea of vampirism being a disease that can be cured, as it was in the strain. And it was even hinted at in, I think it was the House of Frankenstein. I think it was that show. The one thing that my vampire does that is not typical is he feeds, but he doesn't usually kill. Ooh. He doesn't usually unalive. I mean, he does sometimes, but no, it's not spoilers. It's YouTube. Okay. Thanks for coming in. Subscribe if you want to. I actually have some supernaturalish lives that I think are saved somewhere in the mix of them. Sorry, guys. What time is it? Only 2 more hours. Adios. Well, that was cool. I don't get to talk shop very often. Are you still sleeping, Bubba's? Yep. I forgot I can't be loud. I am at 702, 702 subscribers. I don't know if that's changed from earlier, but I'm afraid to go look in case I get hit with garbage. So we've talked about vampires, we've talked about wildlife, we talked about immigrants, talked about visiting India. What else do we want to talk about? Somebody pull a topic out of my hat. It's too quiet. I expected it to be really busy. Dragons is cool. I don't know how I would feel if dragons were real. Because you know darn well that we would be using them as weapons like you see in some of the shows on cable. They would be dive bombing us and stuff. Thanks for the likes. I have a few dragons in my collection, but they're not. I don't know. One of them doesn't quite look like a dragon, and that's okay. I'd like to get some of the D&D dragons that they have for sale. That would be cool. Oh, thanks for the like, whoever just gave me a like. We're up to 6. Woohoo! um, I don't know. I know what probably started the dragon myth, but, or the dragon stories, I should say. I actually have one in my, I have a dragon in my big book that I wrote. Her name is Raven. And like all dragons, she's a shapeshifter. Ogres. Actually, he fought Bigfoot. That's why there's no more Bigfoots. Shifters are cool. And when that little guy sleeps, that little guy sleeps. I like to go home and take a nap. That I haven't read. Although supposedly that's what King Ghidorah was the space dragon. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, dragons are cool. I just don't know how I would go about. Well, I guess I did already. Dragons are cool though. I just don't know if I could sustain a book just about dragons. And I haven't written a short story in like forever. I'm in like a rut. A very serious rut. We are down to 0 people, or just one person. Oh, now we have 2. That's cool. I am bound and determined to make this work. I just have to pick the right YouTuber or the right Instagrammer, make up some questions. I gotcha. I'd like to do like superheroes, but they've all been done. I feel like I'd have to be all original, and I don't know if that would work. Uh-oh. 0 people. I need to get some books. Because I am bored. Not being able to read. Okay. Have a good one. there anybody else in live? Otherwise, I'm going to go. I have a Kindle. It's just not on my phone. I don't know if that second person is BG, or if that second person is predecessor. Yep. Bye-bye. Well, there's nobody else here and there's nobody chatting. I guess, well, there's nobody on chatting that I can see. I'm probably going to leave. I'll give it a minute or two and then go. But yeah, I love coming in during the morning or during the day instead of at night. We get a little bit different crowd. And these chats are a little bit more relaxed. And I like that. I really like being able to come in and just chat and see what comes up, who comes in, and just enjoy it. Anyway, guys, hello. Today we discussed animals in our backyards. We discussed vampires, dragons, Halloween, Halloween cereal. So quite a bit, actually. With that, guys, I think I'm going to let you go. Have a great day. I'm going to check and see how we did today as far as views go. Have a good one. I will see you possibly later this week, maybe on Friday. Have a good one.